In their schedules in the top 10, you've got many of them with 8-1 records, and so I think a lot of that's going to actually even out because a lot of them are playing each other. So we're going to see the rankings change.
As Naso wins the opening faceoff, goes right on in. That shot is a big part of the puzzle why they only gave up 6. As we get a faceoff violation in Notre Dame.
More physical with him. The other thing is, just like with Gray last week at Carolina, if you don't want Kavanaugh to score, then keep the ball in your offensive zone. Right? If Kavanaugh doesn't have the ball, he can't score. So it's not a matter of if he's going to score, and it's a matter of when and how many.
As Notre Dame's % of the points, that means Montgomery and McAdory are such a problem to deal with when they come in as well.
Yeah.
As you were just talking about is.
Yeah, I mean, you pick your poison, but yeah. It's exactly the same with Notre Dame. I mean,
earlier in the week about comparing Dobson to like Brendan O'Neill. You can't cover him with one guy, you got to get multiple guys in there, and the head coach just kind of nodded and said, yeah, he's a problem with his size.
Yeah, he is. And, it's one of these things where I think Brendan O'Neill gets a lot of attention, but there are other Brendan O'Neills on other teams.
In terms of points by a freshman midfielder, and this is, just 14 games into the season?
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that he played mostly or a lot of attack and have the slide come quick.
And already 4 goals for Notre Dame. For Adler, we mentioned the 19 saves a week ago. He's the active leader in the NCAA, but he doesn't have one yet today.
Yeah, Adler, goalies, it's a game of runs. And
been an oddity about this Notre Dame team. They've been getting great looks, and Kevin Corrigan said sometimes just haven't been putting them on goal. The shot percentage wasn't great before that game against Syracuse, but the last week and now first 10 minutes of this quarter, boy, they've looked like the team that everyone thought they'd be at the start of the season.
Yeah, I mean, well, you're gonna, Duke's gonna have to sort of find itself defensively or this is gonna be a long day. The offense hasn't been playing too badly, as you can see right now, that when they get the ball down to the offense, they can score on this defense.
Well, and if you find it into the capable hands of Nakai Montgomery, he knows what to do.
Yeah, and these teams are loaded with talent. Anything can happen.
Well, you mentioned history being an indicator. Duke was down 12-7 in the fourth quarter a year ago in the matchup here at Koskinen Stadium and reeled off 6 straight, winning in overtime 13-12. As the Blue Devils will get possession here and a chance to get a little bit closer, down by 3 goals.
Each team has won 5. Last week against Carolina, each team had won the last 5. It was an interesting statistic.
As a clean win for Lynch, who drives in.
Yeah, Lynch there's so much more activity going on there.
Told you last week he had 7 goals. As Notre Dame comes down quickly. That's his first today. That game
to the next play.
Got more time in the quarter, makes a ton of sense, down by a couple of goals.
Yeah.
As this time the faceoff is won by Will Lynch. I was about to say that to roll into halftime and build back that lead that at one point was 4, and a nice win by Naso.
Key faceoff. Let's see how they protect and use, and he always buries the shot. That's.
It's a nice win for Lynch and a chance for Notre Dame to attack. And there's a quick strike. Pat Kavanaugh answers.
This is a guy who's really looks to the second half to make those key moves.
And a win for Notre Dame to start the third quarter with Lynch.
Now are a little bit dialed in. I think this is going to be a prize fight.
Well, you mentioned at 6'2", jumping there as well, already with great vision over the defense and found a pocket to cut it to 3. Notre Dame now with the chances in late February. And here they go, a scrum. And it's Notre Dame out of there with it.
Like to run into C.J. Costabile, who scored the overtime goal in 2010 against Notre Dame in the national championship to win it, for Duke to win Duke's first national championship. So C.J. was, I was talking to him up in the booth, and the guy's a complete winner.
Lynch with 9.7 to go in the quarter. Naso able to win it. Just 5, including the faceoffs. Notre Dame a slight edge, 15-14, an important one for both Naso for Duke and Lynch for Notre Dame to get the fourth quarter started. And it'll be Lynch who gets out of there with it. They didn't get a chance to get closer here in the fourth quarter, but maybe Notre Dame also missed a chance to put it away with some opportunities early in the fourth.
Yeah, I'd say so, but that's because of good teams make you make mistakes.
Here's Lynch off of a face-off win and immediately restores the 3-goal lead.
That was huge. That could be a dagger right there because, you know, when you really look at that coming off of the...
And a 16-13 lead for the Irish now. So just when it looked like Duke had a little bit of momentum, Notre Dame gets back to a 3-goal lead, although a face-off won by Naso and a chance for the Blue Devils to strike right back, although they're having trouble with possession. O'Neal trying to hold on to it. And we're going to get a violation in possession.
And Duke has had a lot of the same kind of thing. So it looks like there's a lot of scrum, there's a lot of pushing, and
Notre Dame's out of there with it again. With 8.4 to go.
Yeah, I just don't know what the strategy is going to be in terms of the clamp.
Didn't win it cleanly, and exactly like you talked about, just trying to tie it up. Lynch actually comes out of there with it,
yep.
And that'll do it. Notre Dame comes on